What it do, Dream Team? Welcome back to the channel. Here we are with World Cup or Super Bowl. What's bigger? I don't know. I don't think I need to watch this video to know which one is bigger. I'm pretty sure that the World Cup is a lot bigger than the Super Bowl is. The World Cup has the most popular sport in the world, right? Or just cricket come before football? Cricket or football are the top two most popular sports in the world, while American football is the most popular sport in America. And it is popular in other places around the world, but it's not as big as football around the world. So I already know it's going to be bigger, but we're going to watch the video. Before we do, if you guys happen to enjoy it, please don't forget to subscribe and give the video a like and make some requests. Let me know what you guys want to see me react to.
The Super Bowl can feel like the centre of the sporting universe. Between the weeks-long build-up, the flashbulbs which light up the stadium while the opening kickoff hangs in the air, and the world-famous recording artist who plays to an audience of millions at half-time, the event has an aura of unquantifiable size. But just how does it compare with the World Cup? Well, in America, it's enormous. Super Bowl 56, which saw the Los Angeles Rams defeat the Cincinnati Bengals, was relatively unremarkable in viewership terms. And yet, across the various broadcasting platforms, the game totaled a viewership in excess of 112 million. That represented a rise on the previous year, but it was still significantly short of the 172 million viewers attracted by Super Bowl 51, in which the New England Patriots enacted a stunning comeback against the Atlanta Falcons.
Oh, that comeback was absolute insanity. But that Tom Brady was in that. Tom Brady, you put that name in the Super Bowl, that's going to sell tickets. Kind of like you put that name Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl, that's going to sell tickets. But, dang, yeah, I guess Super Bowl 56 fell a lot shorter than Super Bowl 51 in terms of viewership.
But 2022 still described the event's penetration. According to Nielsen data published by NFL.com, 90% of all people using a television in the United States during the event on February the 13th, 2022 were watching Super Bowl 56. So while it has its ups and downs, the Super Bowl dominates its market. By adjusting its estimates to include different sized viewing parties, Nielsen calculated that roughly 208 million people watched the most recent Super Bowl. A figure roughly two-thirds the size of the United States population.
That's crazy.
But while that describes its local presence and doesn't incorporate the between 30 to 50 million viewers who watched from outside the US, expressing that viewership as a percentage of the global population of 8 billion provides important context, and also shows that the World Cup is on an entirely different scale.
Yes.
In 2018, 3.6 billion people watched the tournament.
It's not even close. It's not even close. It's over 30 times bigger, the World Cup. Or I'll say over 20, because I'm thinking doing the math 30. I'll say over 20 times bigger than the Super Bowl. So it's like, yeah, they're not even in the same league. Like I said, football is just famous around the world. And American football, while hugely big in the U.S., outside the rest of the world, it's not really as big to them. They really don't care much about it. So whereas football, you got all these countries competing, and it seems like so many different countries have a football team that compete in the World Cup, and so, I mean, it's worldwide. It's a global phenomenon. 3.6 billion, that's almost 50% of the population in the world.
Across the 64 games played in Russia, the average per-match television audience was 194 million. Essentially, on a viewership basis alone, that equates to 64 Super Bowls within a month. According to FIFA's estimates, the total audience across all games and ceremonies in 2022 is expected to rise significantly and exceed 5 billion. That would be greater than the 3.6 billion who watched the 2012 Olympic Games in London, or the 3.2 who tuned in to watch the Rio Games 4 years later. But the final itself has a staggeringly high audience, and as a single one-off game is really the only direct comparison with the Super Bowl. In 2010, 909.6 million people worldwide watched Spain beat the Netherlands, an audience more than 14 times the size of the two countries' collective population.
That's
In
insanity.
2014, that figure rose again, with 1.01 billion viewers tuning in to see Germany defeat Argentina after extra time. And that number grew further in 2018, with 1.1 billion people across the world seeing France defeat Croatia in Russia.
God.
It's an upward trend which captures the growth of the event, but also the tournament's truly global nature and the final's imperviousness to the identity or size of the countries taking part.
Yeah.
In that regard, it's a spectacle and an event without comparison.
Exactly.
If you like this video, please...
And I feel like everybody who knows sports knows the answer to that question. The World Cup is just in a completely different league in terms because it is globally watched around the world. Everybody's tuning into the World Cup. Whereas the Super Bowl, while some countries outside of the U.S. will watch and will absolutely love it, the U.S. is going to be where most of the fans for the Super Bowl come from. So it's really hard to compete with the sport that's super famous inside of the country. It's hard for that to compete with the sport that's super famous around the world. But I guess there's your numbers. If you needed evidence, if you needed proof, if you needed statistics, you got your numbers. It's on a completely different atmosphere than the Super Bowl. Even if you don't take all the watchers that watch the tournament, if you just take the championship games alone, you still get 100 or I guess when they factored in all the numbers of watch parties, like 208 million people versus over 1 billion people. So even championship games alone is still 5 times bigger and more watched. So those are the numbers. I think we all knew that. But I appreciate both. Absolutely love watching the Super Bowl. It is a spectacle as a U.S. citizen. It's a humongous spectacle that I thoroughly enjoy watching. The World Cup is also very awesome. You see two teams representing their countries to bring home gold, and it's a beautiful thing. Representing your team inside of your country, or representing, I guess, your team in the Super Bowl is a lot different than representing an entire country. It's like you're representing a city versus representing a country. So it's a lot different feeling. That's all we have, though. Please let me know how you guys feel about the video. Also, if you enjoyed it, make sure you get a video a like and get a video a thumbs up. Check out that next one. I'll see you guys next time.